Hi guys, in this video we're going to have a look at how we plot or draw quadratic graphs. Okay, so the first thing to have a look at is the actual equation I'm going to plot here, and because it's an x squared, that's sort of a clue that it's a quadratic. Okay, so it's a little bit trickier than plotting a straight line because I can't use the flow chart. I'm going to have to substitute it in, and when you're dealing with negatives and squares it does get tricky. Okay, so make sure you do what I'm about to show you. The first thing I would do is I'd put a bracket round each of the x's like so, because I'm going to substitute these values for x directly into these brackets, and I'll show you why that's a good idea in a second when we have a go at the first one here, which is x equals minus 2. Okay, so there's my x value. I want to work out what y is, so I'm going to put that into these brackets here. So I'm going to substitute minus 2 in for x. Inside the bracket is now minus 2, and I'm squaring it, plus, and then inside that bracket again minus 2 in that bracket. So why do we do that? Well, if you look at the calculator, because this is probably going to be on a calculator paper, if not, if you are going to use a calculator, make sure you don't do this mistake. So if you just do minus 2 squared, what the calculator does is it does 2 squared, which is 4, and then gives you minus, so the answer would be minus 4. But as we know, if you do a negative times a negative, you should have a positive. So that's why we put it in brackets. So if you put a bracket minus 2 and then square once you've closed the brackets and press equals, you do get the positive value 4. So that's one of the reasons why we do this. Okay, so let me just put everything in. So in brackets minus 2 squared, then I want to add in brackets minus 2. So what do I get? I get the answer of 2. So I can fill that in there. I'll put equals 2 if you wish, but 2 needs to go into the table. Next one is minus 1. So x equals minus 1. So again, inside the brackets, I'm just going to put minus 1, don't forget that one is squared. And again, I mean, you can do it in your head if you like to, or if you want to practice using the calculator, it's probably a good idea. But again, minus 1 squared, so minus 1 times minus 1 will obviously give me 1, but I'll use the calculator just to illustrate that as well. Put it in and we get the answer of 0. Yeah, 0. Okie dokie. Next one then. So x is 1. And again, let's stick it all in here. Plus, and if x is 1, there we go. So 1 squared is obviously going to give me 1, plus 1 gives me 2. And x equals 2 for the final one, so in brackets. Well, 2 squared is 4, plus another 2 gives me 6. Okay, so when it's positive, it's quite nice. You probably just do it in your head. To be fair, these ones here, as long as you remember that a minus times a minus is a positive, you should be okay. But remember, if you're going to put it in calculator, stick it in brackets, otherwise your calculator is going to get it wrong for you. Okay, then all we're going to do is we're going to plot this. So when x is minus 3, y is 6. So along the corridor to minus 3 up to 6. Minus 2 and then 2. Minus 1 and 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 6, and 3, 12. So you might have noticed there that they're the same, they're the same, they're the same, because you'll always have, with an x squared, a curve. Okay, you'll always have a curve. So once you've plotted these points, which of course gets you marks, we obviously then need to draw it. Now what I would do, and hopefully this will work on the camera, is I'd turn it so you naturally curve your wrist like that. Now I'm just going to do this bit first. Okay, so obviously you might be able to do it a little bit better than me, and then turn this one round. And again, try and naturally curve. Make sure you go through the points, because otherwise you'll lose marks, and do it in pencil as well, just in case you do make a mistake, then obviously you can rub it out. So I've deliberately left this bit because what some people do is they go, and they join these two bits up. Well, no, because it's meant to be a curve, so you ain't going to have a curve, this bit a curve, and then a flat bit. you do need to carry on the curve like so. And you can tell that these two won't be the minimum point, if you like, of this, because you've got those two, those two, those two. So the actual minimum point is going to be in between these. So it's going to be at minus 0.5 is going to be the minimum point of this particular graph here, because it's in between those 2 points. Okay, so a couple of things there to watch out for. Now let's have a go at this one. So again, I've got my equation here. This time I've got x squared minus 2x plus 4, sorry, minus 4, what am I talking about? And I've got my table of values here with some of them filled in, and I need to fill in the missing ones. So exactly the same thing. I'm going to put the brackets around my x's so I know what I'm going to substitute in. And let's get going then. So the first one here is x equals minus 2. Okay, so I'm just going to substitute minus 2 into where I've got a bracket. So that'd be minus 2 squared minus 2. Remember, 2x means 2 times x. So 2 times, and again, minus 2. And then I'm going to take away 4. So what does that get us? Let's have a look. So in bracket, minus 2, close bracket, squared. Then I'm going to take away 2 times, and in bracket, minus 2. And then minus 4. Press your equals. What do we get? We get 4. Okay, which I'm then going to put in there. So remember, minus 2 squared is 4. 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. So I'm doing 4 minus 4. And again, take away a minus, you get a positive. So it's 4 plus 4, take away 4 gives you 4. So if you didn't have a calculator, you can do it. It does get very confusing, but as long as you remember to do your negatives properly, you should be okay. Or if you've got a calculator, use brackets and you're in business. Let's do x equals 0 then. So exactly the same thing, in brackets, so 0 squared, minus 2 times, in brackets, 0, and then take away 4. So again, you can use the calculator if you want, but 0 squared is 0, take away 2 times 0, well 2 times 0 is 0. So 0 take away 0 is nothing, minus 4 is obviously going to be minus 4. Or again, use your calculator. And last one here, when x is 3, so exactly the same thing. Where you've got the brackets, you can just substitute in your value of 3. And you can work it out or use a calculator, it's entirely up to you. Obviously, if you've got a calculator, it might make sense just to do it. So in brackets 3 squared, take away 2 times, in brackets 3, and then take away 4, we're going to have minus 1. Also, you've got 3 squared, which is 9, 2 times 3 is 6, so 9, take away 6 gives you 3, take away 4, there's your minus 1. Okay, and once you've done that, you can plot your points. So minus 2, 4, minus 1, minus 1, 0, minus 4, 1, minus 5, 2, minus 4, 3, minus 1, and then 4, 4. And again, you can see got 4 4s, minus 1, minus 1, minus 4, minus 4. In between the middle, I have my 1, minus 5. So that is definitely going to be the lowest point. And again, if you turn your paper, because I know that is the lowest point, okay, and again, turn to try and make your hand flow in the direction that you want it to. Some people find this easier than others. I've always struggled, but you can see just by doing that, you tend to get a nice curve like so. And again, use pencil in the exam, just in case you make a mistake, you can rub it out. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So here is another one. This time I've got a minus 3 here, just to see what happens. So let's give it a go. And I've got some coordinates here. So I'm going to finish off when x is minus 1. Oh, sorry, I forgot my brackets, didn't I? There we go, stick in the brackets. Let's do it. So I'm going to have minus 1 squared, take away 3. Don't forget 3x means 3 times. And then in brackets, again, minus 1. And then finally the minus 1. So again, stick it in your calculator. Or do it by hand. I was doing calculator again, just to show you. So I've got my minus 1 in brackets and then the squared. minus 3 times, and again in brackets, minus 1, and at the end, minus 1. And if you put all that in, you should have 3. So automatically, I'm seeing I've got a 3 and a 3 here, so I'm going to assume that's going to be minus 1. So let's do that now, just to double check. So I'll put 3 into my brackets. So again, you can use calculator or not, but to be fair, do both. Just double check your answer. Always check it. So there we go, times 3 in brackets, minus 1. What do we get? Yep, minus 1, which is what we thought, because it goes 3, minus 1. And I'm going to assume that's going to be minus 3 as well. But again, let's just have a look. So let's do when x equals 1 to finish off the table. So let's have a look. So in brackets, 1 squared minus 3 times in brackets 1, and then take away 1. Again, you use calculator or do it by hand. And yep, as we suspected, it is going to be minus 3 because it's going to be a curve. So 3, 3, minus 1, minus 1, minus 3, minus 3. Okay, so let's plot this now. So minus 2 along minus 2 up to 9, and then minus 1 to 3, 0 minus 1, 1 minus 3, 2 minus 3, 3 minus 1, and then 4, 3. So as you can see, as we suspected, this is going to be our curve. Now again, just like in the first example, I'm not going to draw a nice flat line here. I need to spot that in between these, so in the middle, so somewhere here is going to be my lowest point. Okay, so I'm going to turn my page round, and because I know I'm going to go roughly halfway, and again join them up. I'm going to turn it round, and again just use the flow of my wrist. There we go. Okay, so it looks something like that. Okay, remember, don't draw a flat line. We need to make sure that we do go slightly under. So what is the x-coordinate of the turning point? The turning point is just the lowest point where it turns and starts going back up. So as we've already looked at, I need to go bang in the middle of these two. So if that's 1, that's 2, there would be 1.5. And estimate the y-coordinate. Basically, you can say, as long as it's not minus 3 and not minus 4, usually it's anywhere in between, but I would probably go somewhere in between minus 3.1 to minus 3.4 personally. Somewhere in that region will be fine. Don't put both of them, pick one, but I'm just saying that because you could have anything in that range. Okay. If you actually wanted the y-coordinate and you knew it was x was minus 1.5, you could put minus 1.5 into here and actually work it out correctly. Because it says estimate, I can just have a guess. Okay, so that's another couple of questions that could be asked. The last thing that I want to show you before I stop the video is what could happen if it was a minus x squared. Well, it's still going to be a curve, but let's plot the points and then I'll show you what happens. So again, I'm just going to put the brackets around my x's. X is minus 2. So let's put minus 2 into here. So minus, then bracket, minus 2 squared, plus 2 times, in bracket, minus 2, then plus 4. Let's see what comes out. So minus, and then bracket, minus 2 squared, plus 2 times, and again, minus 2. Then, not plus 1, plus 4. Okay, put that all in, and we get minus 4. That's fine, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, minus 4. Okay, so that's minus 4. So there we go, look, there's my pattern. Minus 4, minus 4. I'm going to guess that that's going to be a 1. Let's have a look. Minus, and then x is 3 this time, so 3 squared plus 2 times, in brackets, 3 plus 4. Let's have a look. And then plus 2 times 3 plus 4. Yep, as we thought, 1. Okay, because it's going in, and then that's a 4, so I'm going to assume that's a 4, but always double check it. So when x is 0, Let's substitute that in and see what happens. Well, 0 squared is 0, factors minus is nothing, it's going to be 0, plus 2 times 0, which is obviously 0. So 0 plus 4 is going to give me 4. I will just put it in the calculator though, just so you can see how you do it if you're using a calculator. Plus 2 times, in bracket 0. There we go, 4. Okay, so don't forget you can check it. Minus 4, 1, 4, 5. Okay, so let's plot this. So minus 2, minus 4. Minus 1, 1. 0, 4. 1, 5. 2, 4. And then 4 minus 4. Oh, I missed off 3, sorry. 3 is 1. Okay, so as you're going up in pairs, we get to this one here, so in the middle is there, so I definitely know that that is the turning point, and luckily this is already facing the right way for me. And as you might have already have guessed, when it's a minus x squared, all that happens is it reflects in the x-axis, it just flips. Okay, so all the other ones were like that. If it's a minus x squared, it looks like that. So it's just something to bear in mind. I haven't seen any of these come up in the exam, but it's just something to bear in mind if it does. Okay, guys? So that's how you plot quadratic graphs. Hopefully that helps. Cheers.